Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, ModzvilleUSA, back with another video, and today we're going to do something very neat, very fun, cool, weird, wild stuff. We're going to be installing 4 of these RAM chips here, doing the old 128 megabyte upgrade mod for the original Xbox. Now, if you're in need of some RAM sticks, link down below. 20 bucks. I've got them on my shop. Yeah, 20 bucks. Bada bing, bada boom. Very good. And if any of this is out of your league, feel free to shoot me an email. Hit me up on Discord, and we'll work it out. We can work out a send-in service, no problem, easy. Yeah, this is actually not as difficult as you might think once you approach it with the right way, right techniques, all of that. Big shout out to the homie Bahamut fan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Another really talented modder based in the Bay Area. Do a lot of these, and I asked, I had tried this previously and just couldn't get it dialed in. I went in super confident, didn't work out, got upset, removed the chips, carried on with my day. I asked for some tips. I tried them out, tried said tips out last night, and total game changer. So there's a whole lot of really old guides on this. If you look around on YouTube from like the early days of YouTube, etc., and if you follow those guides, you're gonna have a bad time. This is the way to do it, objectively the right way to do it, and we're gonna do it or subjectively, I suppose, but we're just gonna say it's the right way because this way works. So we're gonna start easy on the bottom, but before that, this is the big one. This is the important part. Most guides you see will say, hey, there's already solder on these, might as well just use that solder. You don't want to do that. We're going to come in here and we're going to wick up all of this old solder on all 4 these RAM ports here. So I'm using Gootwick. Very, it's a little grimy. Got a little flux on it, got some Captain tape for some reason, but it's gonna get the job done. Highly recommend this. And I'm also using just a chisel tip. I'm gonna be using this for the entirety of this mod. So my temps are set at 345C. We're just cleaning this up. No flux, not adding any solder here. And just be careful, you don't want to rip these pads. Not enough heat. You can easily do that. But yeah, 345C, that is what I'm using, temperature wise. And we want to get these as flush as we can. Okay, fantastic. Now I'm going to come in here with some IPA. Got my nice swabs here. Okay. So this corner can be a little better. So we want to make it better. We don't want the RAM chip to be raised at all. Fantastic. And this one can be better too, this little corner here. Perfectly flush. Now we are not going to come in here and tin this up at all. That was the mistake I was making when I tried this previously. I would wick it and then I would pre-tin it, and that just does not work out very well. I literally could not get that working. You want these to be flush, and then we'll add solder to it when we solder the new ones on. So we're just going to do that for all of these. So let's get a little time lapse going here. You get the gist. Well, alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is all the chips wicked up, nice and flush. And at this point, just go ahead and inspect it. Make sure none of those pins are damaged. There's no bridging going on. You do not want bridging. And we're looking pretty good. So, quickly, let me just go over the game plan here. Different kind of approaches. So, I've got 4 to install. The 2 on the bottom are undoubtedly easier to install, as you're not ducking the various components and maneuvering around them as you are. This one's fine. I don't really see any issues with this one. This one's a real pain in the ass, especially if you don't take the heat sinks off. So we're going to take the heat sink off, redo the thermal paste, all of that. However, what I like to do is just we're going to install the first 2, and I'd recommend you do this, maybe even one at a time if this is your first one. Install a RAM chip and then boot it up and make sure it's not fragging. If you have a bridge going on somewhere, you're going to frag. So, and by frag I mean turns on, turns off, turns on, turns off, turns on, green, red light, no video. That's a frag, general hardware issue. If you've got a bridge going on, you're going to frag. So if you install all of these at once, and you're fragging, then you got to troubleshoot all of them. If you do them one at a time, you install one, it's fragging, well, you know which one the problem is. So obviously we're going to want a modchip and if it's set to boot to a BIOS, I don't think it might frag no matter what. So I'd highly recommend having a modchip on hand with XBlastOS flash to it. Whether you get one with the full XBlast upgrade or just an Aladdin that's flashed with the BIOS file from the XBlastOS set. That's what this is. It's really not useful for anything besides this, because I can't flash it's not upgraded. This is just a stock Aladdin with this chip flashed with XBlastOS, and using it exclusively for testing RAM upgrades. So I'd recommend just getting an Aladdin, flashing XBlast to it, labeling it, and when you do these, just use that Aladdin to test it out. It doesn't need to be the full-blown Aladdin upgrade. So here's the plan for me. I'm going to do the bottom 2. I'm going to test it, and once that's good, do the third one, maybe test it one more time, then we're going to pop the heatsink off and do the last one. Not mandatory, but definitely recommended. So let's give that a go here. So we'll do one here, just like this, and then we're going to do another one under the microscope just to get better footage. I'll overdub some commentary as well. So for lining them up, okay, so for lining the chip up, we've got this circle here, little indentation. You want to line that up with this circle here, and it's going to go in the same orientation always as the RAM chip next to it. So that is also worth noting, keeping your eye on. But you've got the little white dot on the motherboard. You line that up with the little dot in the corner of your RAM chip, and you're lined up. So here's how we do it. Hopefully this doesn't freak out the camera like it usually does. So I'm going to need to start using liquid Flux for videos, which I really don't like using. So this part is semi-important. Probably the most important part of it is your alignment. So what you want to do, line it up best you can. Let's get a little closer here if you can. Okay, it's looking pretty good. So we do one corner, one leg, one corner. Just gonna tack it on there just like that. And then we'll flip it, and we're going to do the other corner. Okay. How's that? Okay, so we got two corners. We're going to inspect the legs here. Make sure we like how everything's looking. Very nice. It's pretty good. Okay. And now from here, it's quite simple. I'll clean my tip. I'll add a bit of solder, not too much, so we don't want to have to deal with too much bridging. It's going to come in here, and we're going to just drag. You should kind of see those joints getting made as we go, and we're dragging it along the pad and the base of the pins of the chip, basically. Now you can do a combination of this method, just going back over it, just kind of touching the base of the legs there, giving it like a bit of a swipe, just like that, getting it on the pad. Solder's looking real strange on video. Okay, same thing. Loaded it up a bit more. I got a little dry there. I'm going to add a bit more flux. A bit more solder. Just go over it. And we're bound to bridge at some point. And I'll show you what to do. It is not the end of the world. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to bridge this next one. We're going to try a little bit harder to bridge, just so we can go over how to deal with it if that happens. So we've got a bunch of solder on this one. We've got some definite bridging going on here, so let's check that out. You can see there's a whole lot of bridging going on here. So we're just going to add a bit more flux. And with that, what I like to do with bridging like this is just to get it to the corner. So we can use our swipe method here. You see, that's already working out a lot of that bridging. There we go. But really, what you could do is just slowly drag it. You should be able to transfer it all the bridging to the corner and just kind of swipe it out. Then you can clean your tip, come back in there, and just work it out. Now if it's a ton and you just can't get it, if you just drag it to the corner like that, it'll kind of follow your iron. Just drag nice and slow, and then you'll typically end up bridging like on the corner 2 pins. And if you can't, if it's just too much of a pain to swipe it out, then I come in with you just come in with your solder wick, just grab it up and then touch up those joints real fast. Easy peasy. It's kind of satisfying just going over these. It's nice and fluxy. Good to go. So this is looking quite alright. I might not need to hit the microscope. This is a bit of an awkward thing to get under the scope anyway. It's kind of got a base. I need to set up a desk mount kind of a deal like I have for my overhead camera that we're using right now for my microscope, because you can only really put on smallish PCBs like the switches, stuff like that. See, there we go. We got a bridge in the corner there. We probably have some other bridging going on. We're going to inspect that in a moment. And that's what I'm talking about. You drag it to the corner and you can kind of just swipe it out like that. Just like that, just combing it. If the solder's not behaving as nicely as you want it to be, all you really got to do is add a bit more flux and it'll be good. So at this point, let me get a nice tweezer, something to point out what I'm talking about. X-Acto blade will do. So you want to check for bridging on the legs of the chip. I like to do 2 passes with my eyes, but there's 2 places you really want to zero in. You get the legs of the chip here, and then the spaces on the pads on the board itself. You want to really check those to make sure nothing's bridging. And this is a lot easier to do with the naked eye. Reflections of light really make this look a bit strange on camera, but under the microscope with the naked eye, whatever it is you prefer, you just want to go over it. And from what I can tell with the camera, that's looking all right. And we're just going to move along to the next one here. Well, alright, that's another RAM chip installed. Again, we are inspecting the base of the chip, the legs of the chip themselves, and then I do another pass with my eyes on the pads here. The corner pin looks a little weird. I'm gonna redo that one. That's just some lighting crap. Okay. Not seeing any bridging there. Yeah, that looks good to me. Okay, so I want to do one more pass with my eyes outside of the camera, clean up the flux, and I'm going to hook this bad boy up. Is that a bridge? That bridge might be. I'm gonna hit it with the alcohol. Yeah, one more pass with my eyes, then we're gonna hook it up and see if it's booting to XBlastOS. If you have a different mod chip with something else flashed to it, this might not work out. I'm not sure if you can do this with Open Xenium, etc., but Aladdin with XBlast should boot up to XBlast menu as long as there's not a problem with your soldering. So one more pass with my eyes and I'll see you on the Xbox, see if it boots up. Okay, fired her up and she's still booting. It does say 64 megs. Don't worry about that. Once we have all of them, it'll just jump from 64 to 128. So now that that's good, let's move on to the top side. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have removed the heatsink from my Xbox, and I advise you do the same, especially if you have not already replaced the thermal paste initially. I already had, but it looks like I'll be doing it again because it's just it's a pain. It's a serious pain to do this with the heatsink on there. It's constantly working around it. Not so much for this one, but for this chip. There's already like capacitors and shit in the way on the 1.3s. So you know what? It's just it's a bit more work, and then it's a bit less work. You just don't have to deal with it. So these pads are looking a little fun. Whoa! So anyways, these pads are looking a bit crusty on film. Not sure what's up with that. I've cleaned them multiple times, and then it's kind of like this gunk shows back up. But as you can see with the IPA, there's no bridging. It's just some weirdness brewing. Okay. So, same story with this one. I'm just gonna bang this out. I'll shut up. And the only thing worth noting is once we get to the top side, especially on the other chip, where you're going to be approaching this a bit more vertically with your iron. Can't really have like a nice resting, pencil touch. You're gonna have to work around some crap. So other than that, everything is exactly the same. It's like Okay. So once you got it, clean her up a little bit, and then really inspect your work. I want to go ahead and do that off camera, but you know what to do. You're looking for bridges. Anywhere you see a bridge, take care of it. Just clean your tip, add some flux, just work it out. Just massage it out of there with your iron. It's quite simple to do. And one thing that it's totally up to you, however you want to do it. I want to test it. I want to run it hot without the heatsink, just to see if it boots up. If you do that, just be careful. You're running it hot. You don't want to leave it on for an extended period of time. I'm not going to capture footage of that. I'm just going to see if it boots or if it frags. That way, if it frags and you need to get back in here and go over your work. Ladies and gentlemen, we have booted into the XBlastOS menu. Now I want to level with you, this did not happen the first time. It was fragging at first, and I had to go back in there. And essentially, the best bet was that swiping motion that we went over early on in installing these. There was no bridges, but some of these joints, I think there must have been a cold joint somewhere. So I think the best strat is do the drag soldering like we did, and then just go over each pin one by one. Just kind of swipe it out and make sure each joint is real solid. Otherwise, you might have a bad time. So drag it and then go back over the pins one at a time. Seems to be the best strat for consistency. So now that we're booting, let's give the RAM a test. And there she is. Ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, pat yourself on the back. You now have a 128 megabyte modded original Xbox. Go ahead and give yourself a pat. You earned it. Not a simple mod to do. Can be very tedious to troubleshoot. All of that. But you'll get it. Just keep at it. Try one at a time. As long as you have an XBlast, some sort of mod chip running XBlast. I'm using an Aladdin. Then yeah, you should be good. Going one at a time and checking to make sure you're not fragging. That seems to be the best bet until you're really consistent with these. But even then, it's probably better to just do one at a time, give it a test, or two at a time, give it a test, and make sure everything's gravy before moving on. You don't need to run this test, but as long as it's not fragging, then you know the chip's on there properly. So anyways, leave a like if you like the video, subscribe for more jazz like this, and smell you later. Don't let us back and say what to do.